Say hello, people of YouTube. Alright. Hi, welcome to my podcast where I ramble about all things knitting and everything else I'm currently obsessing about. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I keep saying I'm going to say that, and I never do. There's been a gap between podcasts. We went up to Rosemont, not Chicago, Rosemont, for the Gordon's Food Show. So we were going to film up there, and then family together talking, you forget. So we skipped a week, and now we're back with a whole heap of things. So we'll just dive right in. So first, because I was making the hats for the charity drive at my dad's work, so you had already seen this one. De-shed them before they go. So then I made, this is the one I was working on. So they just continued out of the skein however they went, even if it was just a little bit of color, which I quite like the little bit of gray onto the green. So then we did that, and then it went into more of the green up through the greeny, bluey color. I'm not sure what color that would be. And then into more deeper green blues. They just came out of the dryer, so they're sticking to each other. That one, and then this started the new skein, and these were all knit out of Wool-Ease, the Wool-Ease cakes. I have one somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I know this was Poseidon, all these first ones, and then this purple one was either, I want to say Hecate. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was Hecate. Yeah, so do those, and then I've got another one. These are all DK weight hats. These are acrylic wool bins. This is just, I want to say 100% acrylic. It was just what I had in my stash that was the same size, so I knew it was DK. I knit them all on, I did the ribbing on a US 4, 3.5 millimeter, I believe, and then the body on a 7. So, and I've got an interchangeable hat set that I've had for a couple of years. I want to say it's Knitter's Pride, but I could be wrong. The dog ate the packaging it was in, and it's been so long that it's just the needles and the cords now. I don't know what it is. And then I knit, so I've got 2 of the Barley Light by Tin Can Knit, so it's got the little garter panel that goes up it. This is in mauve, and then this one is in just gray, mauve and gray, by Loops and Thread, which is the Michaels brand fingering weight yarn. So it's acrylic nylon men. I think it's 85-15 acrylic nylon. I could be wrong on that. I could get up and find a skein, but I'm being too lazy. I don't want to. But that's all the hats. So it probably won't see a hat on this podcast for a little while unless I see one that really, truly inspires me. In between the hat knitting, so my cousin Evie, she's about to be 3, which baffles my mind anyways that she's going to be that big. Anytime I'm with her, she always wants to put on any fingerless gloves I have. She always wants to put them on. And I was laying in bed Friday after I'd been with her and thought, I'm going to have to make her a pair. Thought she was jumping. I'm going to have to make her a pair. And I was like, well, I'm sure I've got a pair. So I made these, which are the tiniest, cutest little things I've ever seen. I used the Tin Can Knits oats. These oats, the gloves. Hi. Yeah. Interruptions. Hey, this is Rory, by the way. She's the monkey of the podcast. Yeah? Alright, go lay down. She's in the spinny chair, so she can hurt herself as well. Yeah, the Tin Can Knits pattern, I didn't follow the actual patterning on it. I just did for the numbers, because it was 10 o'clock at night and I was lazy and I didn't want to. And I knit it out of the Red Heart Huga yarn in the color Pearl. It's upside down. The color Pearl. This stuff you can get at Walmart. Fuzzies. It is the softest yarn ever. I've made a couple bun hats out of it for commission knits. And I have a few skeins left over, and that's when I saw this. It matches her coat. She's got this cute little bunny coat that it matched perfectly. So I thought, She had to have them, and she loves them. I stole them for this. She'll give them back. Don't worry, everything gets returned. And then I did it. I finished. They were traveling. The girlfriend market bag. I finished it. I sat down. I think it was maybe Sunday night because it was staring at me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And I finished the hat, and then I finished that, and it doesn't look that big, but this thing grows like you wouldn't believe. And I finished it. I'm like, oh, I should make more. So this used exactly 100 grams of yarn for the needles and the repeats that I used. Okay, there might be some editing. So if you see jumpy cuts, it's because of the dog. Yeah, so there's exactly 100 grams used in this. And I have exactly 100 grams left because it's a 200 gram thing for the Comfy Cotton Blend by Lion brand in the colorway Stained Glass. So they're 7 ounces, 200 grams, 392 yards, 358 meters. 50% cotton, 50% polyester. So you can't use it for dishcloths, but you can use it for the marker bags. And now I think I'm going to make another one. We'll see. We'll see if I do it. We'll see if I start it and never finish it, because that might be what happens with this one. I get so far, and then I just don't want anything to do with it. And then, since it's the... What are you doing? Oh. Since it's the end of the month, we will do the, I guess, beginning of the month, when you see it, the Yarn Hoarder Dishcloth Challenge dishcloths I made last month. So there's only 4 here, because, like I said, most of my effort's been for hats. So I've got this first one, which is the Emerald something from last month. I don't remember what it was called. It came on one of the cones, and I don't have the label for the cone, so it's the same one from last month. Actually, the first Girlfriend Market bag I made was out of this, so the colorway will be on that. So if you want to go over to my project page, it will list the colorway for these. It's Lily Sugar and Cream. And then this one is the Lily Sugar and Cream Navy Blue, Royal Blue. So there's that one, which is a Royal Blue. Like, I don't know if it showed up on screen that way, but it is a Royal Blue. And then this one is an unmarked, just an unmarked yellow. I was calling it the Sunshine Dishcloth when I was knitting it, because that's what it reminded me of, just yellow and white stripes. And then I have like 4 skeins of these. I should have grabbed it and figured out what the colorway name is. I think it's pumpkin something. I'm not sure. It goes from, it's just very variated. Oh, excuse me. Orange, lighter orange, dark oranges, and white through it. I will grab that and put the colorway name down below, because I have skeins of these, and I can tell you the colorway of these. So just 4 for this month. It was a hat month, not a dishcloth month. And I think that's, yes, that is all my finished objects. So we can move into whips. So we'll start with a dishcloth, since it's almost done. I'm on the decrease side. I use the Grandma's Favorite dishcloth pattern, or I think Fairy Pink Knits has it's called Traditional Dishcloth pattern. I linked it in the episode that I showed the dishcloth. So I don't remember if that was the last episode or the episode before that, but I have it linked there. Oh, I'm pulling stitches out, because that's what I do. I'll collect all those. So I got another giant cone. I found for my tension and the size dishcloths I like, I can get 10 or 11 out of a cone. So it's a better deal for me to do the cones than it is for the little, what is it, 3.5 ounce or something. No, that seems like way too much. The little ones. I don't remember exactly what they are. But there's the tag Peaches and Cream, and it is the colorway Ocean Stripes. And I thought, the way it looks in the cone, I thought it would be kind of a more speckled, like a blue with more speckled through it. But it's knitting up in stripes. Stripes is the word I'm looking for. My brain wanted to say chunks, but chunks works too, but stripes. So I've done a full repeat and I'm back on the repeat now for what it does, so. Doug might be home. You want to pause that, I'll go let her out so she can work at them. Alright, small interruptions by the dog. That's what you have when you have a puppy. She's fine. So yeah, the dishcloth. So that after, yeah, I said everything on that. So we're going to move on to the next thing I am working on is, under all the hats, I have a hoe, or a half object, for Caitlin's face behind there. And it is not in this bag. Where'd it go?
I was like, what'd you just call me?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I've lost it. Oh, there it is. It was in the other bag. I put all my finished objects originally in one bag and then separated them. So it's the Seeker Mitt by Megan Reagan of Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast and Bad Wolf Girl Studios. And I don't know if she's Bad Wolf Girl Designs or if she's just Megan Reagan on her designing page. But it's hers. I'll link it below. But they're little, my mom says they look like garland, which yes, I can see that. But they're just little seekers, so I'll hide the others so you can see them. And I did the kit from the Bad Wolf Girl Studios, so I got the Seeker kit in the color green for Slytherin. It does need a thumb, which I will do. I do the thumbs, I always do the thumbs after I knit both of them. And that way I know how the length to knit the thumb, because I don't know if I necessarily have longer thumbs than everybody else, but I like a longer thumb. Like I said with the plain version I used this pattern, but I just knit it in plain. I like the longer thumb. So that. I haven't cast on the second one, but I will now that hat applications are done and I can get more personal knitting done. So it's a really quick, really fun pattern. I knit that in an evening, so if I just sit down, I can knit the other one really quickly. And then the last thing I'm working on, set all the hats on top of everything, but I can't find anything, is the Changing Staircases shawl by Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn and Dragon Horde Designs. So I printed out, I only print out like the actual pattern, so I went in and printed out the cover sheet where you can see it on and not just the what it tells you to do. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to do that. Yes, I finally cast it on. I've had the yarn since Christmas and finally cast it on. So I cast this on, oh, and I'm in the middle of a row and I didn't even know that. I'm all put together tonight. I thought I finished that row last night. So you go from a stockinette to a lace section in it. And then I think I've done 2, 3. I'm on like the 3rd repeat. What I'm considering a repeat is both a stockinette and a lace section. So doing that. And the yarn is What's a Niffler by Bad Wolf Girl Studios. That's what I use. But it's this nice black, and then you can see it's got the speckles. I can get the cords out of the way because I should have finished this row and I didn't know I was in the middle of it. But it's got the variegating colors there. Variegated speckling, however you want to say that. I really like it. It's sitting up very pretty, and I think I'm going to love this shawl. I'm learning to like shawls. I'm not a big shawl wearer, but I find the more styles I knit, the more I'm finding the style I like. So you kind of have to have that give or take. Double check my notes, make sure I did everything. Yep, okay, on to acquisitions. Ooh, excuse me, getting hiccups. I did not purchase any yarn that I've received this week. I did purchase something, it won't be here. It's a pre-order, so it won't be here for a little while. But I did win. Wooden House Yarns did a giveaway on Instagram beginning of the month of February. I guess we're in March now. Beginning of February. And I did it. And I do those all the time. You know, comment your name and friends and this and that. And never win. I never won anything like that in my life. I don't win things. It's just, I don't. And then I was actually in the car waiting to pull out on a road with, like, the entirety of the interstate had been diverted off onto this road. So I sat there for a minute, got a message. And it was like, hi, Morgan, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, whatever. It's, you know, just something. Instagram. You ever get those messages on Instagram where they're like, hi, we'd like to, what so-and-so wants to send you a message. And you're like, yeah, no, don't know you, not doing it. Or occasionally I'll get one if I follow somebody, they'll send me like, here's a 10% off code for our shops, which I really like that. And I have used those before, which is, if you're a designer or a yarn dyer, that is a good way to get people to at least look at your page. But then I kind of opened it up to read, because I was just going to open up and decline and whatever. And I was like, wait, that says congratulations, I've won. What did I win? And then you have to go back through going, wait, what? Hold on. So I went through, picked out 2 skeins. So it's Wooden House yarns out of New Zealand, which, I'd never be able to get yarn from New Zealand any other chance. So he said, his name's Dave. He said, go pick out any 2 skeins from my shop, and I'll send them on their way. Okay. And so I went through a shop going, this is not happening. This is not happening. I'm going to send it and send it my address. And he'd be like, actually, no, not you. Because that's just my luck. So I picked out, this first color is Shades of Gray, which it was gorgeous. My brain said, be smart, get 2 of the same color. And I was going to get 2 of these. And then I saw this one, which is Queen of the Night, or Queen of Night. I don't know if there's a the in there. Queen of Night. And when I originally saw it, it looked more like this blue denim-y, the way that he had photographed it, which I was, and then it showed up with these, like, purple throughout, and I fell in love even more. I was like, oh, yes, so pretty. You should see, as my mom was in the kitchen going, look at it! And then I was holding them together, and I'm like, why does this one look so much bigger? Because it feels like it's a fingering weight, so why is it so much bigger than this one? So I weighed it. There's 150 grams in this one, compared to the normal 100 you get. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't read the item description. I just went by colors, and I was like, oh, pretty. It was like, their colors. I think his shop, he's on vacation right now, so his shop's on hold, so I can't actually go back and look and see what they are. But I'm not going to use them for socks. I knew when I got them, I was actually holding them together. I'm going to do the brioche bandana cowl. So I've either purchased it or it's in my cart. I don't remember. But I'm going to do that. I'm getting ready. I ordered needles for it. Had to order them through Amazon because I didn't have the right size needles in a 16-inch. Because my hat set only goes down to a 4, I think. A US 4 is the smallest it goes. I needed a US 3, so I ordered high sharp 16-inch needles for the size 3, I believe is what you need for this. So I'm super excited. I'm going to buy the bundle with all 4 sizes because, you make one, you might need one in every size. All occasions. But I am super excited to cast that on. And I was going to cast it on last night, and I thought, no, I'll wait so I can show the yarn in their pretty skein form before casting it on. And then that's all the yarn. I've got patterns, like I said, the brioche bandana. I must not have bought it if I didn't print it out because I don't have it in my stack. But I'm going to because that will hopefully be on the needles by next podcast. I bought the Patika. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. The Patika hat and cowl from Aurora Knits. So my Frenchie of Aurora Knits. Is that not the cutest thing? I saw this a few months ago. Somebody I followed on Instagram was knitting it. And I saw it. I was like, oh, that's cute. And then, of course, the grocery girls, Tracy knit it. And then everybody else, it seems like everybody's knitting it. And I've been craving a cowl. And then I was like, yeah, I'll knit it. And then I was like, no, I want to do the brioche bandana cowl. And then she had a birthday sale where it was 10 or 20% off her patterns. And I was like, well, there's no excuse now. So I've got yarn that I think I'm going to use for that. But it says I need another skein of my main color. So I have one of each skein. So I think I'm going to contact the dyer and see if I can get another skein. I know they won't be same dye lot, but they should be. It's a very gray with speckles on it, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I think it's for both. I would need another skein if I made the hat. So I'm probably going to skein that up or cake it up and cast it on just to start because I'm craving it and I need something besides hat. So, but that's all. Ooh, hiccups. That's all I've really been working on and purchasing and not purchasing this week. I do want to talk. So I signed up for the Solidarity Swap, and I meant to talk about this last week, but we didn't film. So I signed up really close to the end date because I was going back and forth, and then I was like, no, this is something I want to do. I've never done a swap before, and this felt like a good one to do as your first one. So I signed up for that, and then before we sat down, I just got the email for my swap partner. Hi, Heather, if you are watching. But I'm looking forward to that. It's such a good thing in this community, what they're doing, and I'm very happy to be supporting it and talking about it, and I'm in. And even if you're not in, they have got a whole list of Black, Indigenous, people of color makers and dyers and everything on their Ravelry. If you go there, they've got that for the Solidarity Swap. And it's just, they've got, I want to say this is a safe space. So anybody and everybody is welcome here. I will not tolerate any prejudice against anybody for any reason at all. So I wanted to put that out there, and talking about Solidarity Swap seemed like the best time to throw that in here. So do that. They've got a whole list of dyers, and I'm going to try to just buy yarn for my swap partner, and none for me, maybe. Is that how you're supposed to do this? One for you, one for me type thing? Or is that just because I grew up watching Little Women? This one for you, this one for me. That's every time I say that, that's the scene that pops in my head. If you've ever seen Little Women, where she's feeding the little kids, I think she's ripping up a biscuit, and then she goes around to the kids, and then she gets her one, and then she goes around and gets her one. That's always what pops into my head. And that was a weird little ramble. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. That's really all that's going on, is I get to start yarn shopping for somebody other than me, which is going to be a nice change, I think, because it might be by colors I wouldn't necessarily look at. Because I went and found her the introductory wish list thing on Ravelry. Ooh, hiccups. And it's the colors she has on there are not necessarily colors that I would gravitate towards. So it's going to be interesting looking through colors and actually focusing on things that you wouldn't normally focus on. So I'm excited for that. Let's see what else. We went to the Gordon Food Show. Like I said, my daytime job, my spring through fall job, really, I get winter stuff, is running a food trailer with my family. And then my cousins own a restaurant, so they run a restaurant. So we went with them. They'd went before. Two of them went before. And so anything surrounding Chicago seems like to get from where you park your car to the room you need to be in, you'll have to walk 2 miles. Because I'm just going to throw that, that's fine. When I first started knitting, I was going to Chicago a lot. My grandpa had gotten sick, and he was up in a hospital in Chicago. And from the parking garage to his room, we clocked it one day. It was 1.5 miles. I mean, some of that was elevators, but still, because you had to go from the parking garage down this long vestibule, is what I'd call it, into the hospital, up 6 more hallways. You had to get on an elevator, go up to so many floors, and then walk halfway across the hospital, it felt like. It probably wasn't. And then get on another elevator to take you up to that side of the hospital. It was ridiculous. And that's what I felt like when we were walking from... So when we left the room, we walked out of the hotel, down the vestibule to the parking garage, put all our stuff in the car, walked back through the vestibule, and then took even longer to go around to the convention center to get to that. And then you walk... I think my phone said, and because your phone's not 100% accurate, but I've got a Samsung, so it does the count your steps. I had, I think, 12,000 steps, and it said I walked like 3 point something, I don't know. It was like, congratulations, and I was like, no, I'm going to bed. Plus, I don't sleep well away from home, so I slept about 3 hours that night. I didn't sleep well the night before it because of the stressing of not being home, and then that I got home, crawled in my bed. I'd been listening to an audio podcast on the way home, and got my bed and curled up, and was just going to finish that. I was going to sit down and knit and finish that, and I fell asleep for 4 hours. And then you wake up, it's 8 o'clock at night, and you're like, oh, this is not good. That's pretty much it. That's all I think we've done. That's the most exciting thing we've done in a month, really. in my life, that's...
It's sad, but it's true.
It's true, you know. I went to Michael's a couple weeks ago. That was like, yeah. That's really... You can see the dog here. It's because I'm bouncing my foot off the ground, so it's stirring it all up. And that was just a really good piece. Yes, that's it. I just been watching Netflix and podcasts. My friend Dearney for the Dear to Me Knits podcast, she posts bi-weekly. So check hers out. She's still kind of new. I think she's got maybe close to 20 episodes up. the Jordy Knits podcast. Katie over there. I've been watching her. She posted a new one today. She talks. She's part of the Solidarity Swap kind of moderators, so she talks about that in way more detail than I know about. Girls in the Yarn Cafe. Tristan's got a new podcast. Dragon Horde Creates or something like that. She's got a blog up for Stitches West, which was good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Ramblin Needles. I guess I should have said that in the beginning. Yep, I will see you all next week if you can make it through these, because last week's was last week's, all I'm going to say. And have a good rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye. We say that at Hilton. We're not many for